Well, let me start with a few words about the history of our project, and that seems to us quite appropriate. Some years ago now, must be 8 years or so, we had the social anthropologist and Indologist Katharina Genzi from Paris as a guest at the already mentioned Käthe Hamburger Kolleg here, who gave a lecture about Indian Vastu experts, that is to say specialists for topomancy, or not quite accurate, geomancy. The striking contrast between, on the one hand, the correctly dressed Indian experts appearing like insurance agents who consistently show up with modern instrument cases, and on the other hand, the appearance of Chinese feng shui specialists who in traditional dress are surrounded by the paraphernalia of their culture, gave Andreas Nering and me the initial idea for the project, namely to strive for a comparative study on the performance of experts and the status of esoteric practices on a global scale. On the question of status, another explanatory image. The chair of religious studies at the Catholic Furen University in Taipei, Taiwan, is held by Professor Zheng Zhiming. It's me on the other side, but just don't look at that. Whose declared goal is, I quote, to harmoniously unite mantic education, which in Chinese reads shu shu, and academic education, in Chinese xue shu, so there's a pun also, which is why Professor Zheng trains experts in feng shui, numerology, spirit conjuring, and other disciplines at the Catholic University. In the course of our further preparation, we have been working with Knut Graf, Klaus Hock, and Rachel Romberg on others on African and Afro-Caribbean practices as part of a series of international conferences, as well as on other contexts such as Russia and Israel. Dominic Müller, who in his successful professorial appointment lecture at this university on bureaucratization of Islam in Brunei and Singapore, picked up an aspect from his Emmy Noether program, namely the bureaucratic rededication of practices originally condemned as deviant, such as exorcism, into Sharia-compliant procedures. And this is this is why he became one of the directors of our center. And this social anthropological approach significantly enriched our project. Now, our perspective, and I'm still in the history and of the preparation of this proposal, our perspective, which has had previously focused mind on non-Western practices, was broadened by several years of collaboration with Bernd Christian Otto, who studies esoteric practices, particularly in the area of ritual magic in Western societies. And together with Andreas Nering, he has dealt with the complex matter of the concept of esotericism. Thus, in contrast to a previous research, our project landed late in the West, which is worth emphasizing. The practices we are looking at are extremely present globally. This has just been shown by the direction of movement from our research from east to west. Due to the globalization of scientific rationalities, or scientistic rationalities, we could even say, they are widely perceived as alternative and marginalized in dominant knowledge systems. Therefore, it is necessary to explain their astonishing resilience. It is also necessary to explain which factors contribute to the fact that their marginalization can be observed in very different degrees, from blanket banishment to widespread acceptance and even state-sponsored institutionalization in certain parts of the respective society. So there are different degrees of rejection or acceptation. This leads, of course, to different strategies of legitimation and rationalization, especially with regard to the claim to scientificity, but also to tradition. While there are numerous individual studies on a global level, there is not yet an approach that focuses on the family resemblances, meint Wittgenstein, of these practices from the aforementioned points of view. Now, the floor is, where is he? Andreas, this is your part.